many times can we talk about stripes? My hips, in fact, do not lie. Back in my day, we didn't have TikTok to give us body image issues. We had Tumblr and Pinterest. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. My name's Emma B, and today I will be roasting an early 2000s style book. The book is called Dress Skinny, Perfecting Your Style, Flattering Your Body, and Looking Fabulous by Marie Claire. I found it at Half Price Books right before winter break for $5.99, so you know, get a lot of bang for your buck. I read the entire thing. The things I do for this channel, I think I killed off a few brain cells. I went in and annotated. My ELA teachers from high school would be so proud of me. There are lots of sticky notes. There's also just highlighter written in there, and I do plan to include little snapshots of different little quotes and stuff in the video as well, so I'll put them right here, including a picture of the book. Before I dive in, I did want to do a little disclaimer that this is going to talk about flattering your body and mentioning areas of the body that a lot of people are self-conscious with. And also, I'm going to be very comfortable using the term fat and skinny and using those two to describe people's bodies. I don't use them in either negative or positive connotations. It is simply just the way it is. I am a fat person, I am a plus size person, I am a curvy person, whatever you want to use. I use them interchangeably, but I know that can make some people uncomfortable. And also, if you are in a place with your body image where hearing the bad advice from this book could be harmful to you, please do not keep watching. Make the choice that is best for you, because I have other great videos you should go and watch instead, if this is not the video for you. When I first started reading this book, I was under the impression it was probably 2004, 2005. The copyright on this book is 2014. This book is only 10 years old. Really? Ew. And the book has 2 different introductions and then 8 categories that women need to be aware of to flatter, which also flattering, something being flattering, is highly subjective. Because one woman who doesn't like how big her hips are, another woman's gonna be like, I wish my hips were that size. I wish I looked like that. We've all seen those videos on social media where people are like, you never know what somebody else is thinking, and it's a bunch of women looking at each other being like, I wish I had that. But oftentimes when people are using the term flattering to tell someone else why their outfit does or does not work, it means looking thinner. So whenever somebody says that an outfit I'm wearing isn't flattering, it usually means that my waist isn't defined. And my waist is the smallest part of me. And so emphasizing that is what people think needs to happen. First page of the first introduction, the goal of this book is to, quote, help every woman build a wardrobe that makes her feel fabulous, end quote. As long as it fits within their certain guidelines and restrictions, which I get they're selling their book, and for people to want their book, they have to think the rules matter. But this is also just a critique of the societal fashion standards as a whole. This book is one of many books like it. I was just able to find it for $6 secondhand, so I'm gonna roast it. Because in the next line, after the every woman feel fabulous line, there's, quote, we gathered tips, tricks, wisdom, camouflage secrets, optical illusions, and the little bits of magic that create flattering shapes and proportions, end quote. Let me translate that real quick. Let me break it down. Always strive to look as skinny as possible, and then you're allowed to like it and feel good about your body. But even then, you're not going to, because you could always look thinner. So then the next introduction starts off with, perfection is overrated, especially when it comes to the human body. I am a firm believer that it's our imperfections that make us unique. And I'm kind of saying this in almost a mocking voice, because I 110% agree with that statement. However, that's not really what they're saying, because what they're really saying is you should be yourself and be unique. Express yourself. But if you're too different, you gotta be grateful if you're included at all, because don't be too different. Express yourself, but within the confines of how everybody else is. The first category is boobs. They list off a bunch of different words that people will use for boobs, and I just would like to share them with you all. Gazingas, bazooms, puppy, hooters. I find this section interesting because it talks a lot about finding the balance of showing off your ass when you're bigger busted, but don't be too sensual, because cleavage isn't appropriate for the workplace, or a defined breast, but don't wear something that just hangs, because then it's going to make you look bigger. I am a bigger busted one. My boobs exist in any outfit I wear. But even on this page it says, as long as the shape is slimming. That is the message of the book. It's you can do anything else as long as you look skinny. and then you're stylish. There's even like this one photo of like a top for bigger bust, and where would I put mine? Where would they go? Like, there's just not enough room for boobs in that top. This is also the first page we see any mention of vertical stripes, which like I remember in like 2014, like that era, or maybe a little later. 2014 I was 11, so I wasn't going to be reading this kind of book, but I mean I was conscious enough that like in those next few years after that, I remember vertical stripes being a huge thing because vertical stripes make you look thinner and taller, and horizontal stripes make you look shorter and wider. They're used in optical illusions that way too. It's just like the way that our eye perceives them. And I remember like middle school me not wanting to wear horizontal stripes because they were going to make me look bigger. I was not a fashion conscious like middle schooler. These rules were still something that I was aware of as like a tween. I will say one thing this book does is get creative with the metaphors. So don't try to disguise your endowment with a free-flowing top or dress. You'll look like a clipper ship at full sail. It would be funny if they weren't trying to be serious. If you like a free-flowing top, even if you have bigger boobs, wear a free-flowing top or dress. Like, who gives a oh my god. Next category is arms. Oh my gosh. Which, even on the first page of the like arms, so like the introduction page, like they have a quote from Twiggy about how a long flared sleeve, quote, it's a great way to distract from the dreaded bingo wings, end quote. Like, oh no, my arms move while I'm living my life. Whatever will I do? And I realize that's like a real insecurity for a lot of people. It has been for me. But also, like, at the end of the day, it's not that serious. A long flared sleeve can also just be fun to wear. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that some people are going to take this video a little too seriously, in that, like, I'm roasting anyone who uses clothing to emphasize the parts they're more comfortable with or to mask the parts they're less comfortable with, because that is something that I do myself. The clothes that I buy myself and the way that I style my clothes, I do it in ways that are comfortable for me and that make me feel comfortable. But it's also something I've learned through trial and error of like different clothes make me feel different ways. I have also become much more confident through, you know, faking it till I made it, but also not following these kind of rules. Figuring out what works for me as an individual because everybody is so different. So like these kind of like blanket statement rules that cater toward the like societal beauty standard that like, makes everybody feel bad. Let's be honest, everybody feels bad about it at some point. So like, why would we try and follow these rules? And these kind of books made so much money. Like, this is such a huge industry even now. I don't know if y'all have recently seen the legging legs thing on TikTok and Instagram. I'm tired. Speaking of 2014, the thigh gap stuff in 2014, I thought we got past that, guys. I thought we suffered so that the next people don't have to. This is gross. Put some leggings on. Bam. Your legs are in leggings. Like, it's that easy. Really? Is that the thing we're doing now? We as like a generation on social media have the ability to like make it better for those 12-year-olds who have a little bit too much access to the internet. My feed is curated to a lot of people being like, yo, this is stupid. But not everybody's is, because there are a lot of people who are actually like behind the trend. I just want people my age and a little bit older to sort of recognize that we were hurt by that kind of stuff when we were younger. And so, moving forward, let's not do the same thing so that way we don't hurt that next generation, you know? Which, God, that makes me sound so old, please. Back in my day. So one thing they talk about in the sleeve section a lot is to pick the part of your arms that are the smallest and then emphasize those. One part says, quote, flaunt the fittest parts of your arm, end quote. Which, like, worked on bodies up to a certain size. Once you hit a certain size, there's no flaunting the skinny part of your arm. You can't flatter away being fat. And I say that in quotes because, like, sure, there are shirts that fit bigger arms better or that they look better on different people, like different sleeve shapes and stuff, but it's not going to make you look skinny if you're not skinny. So, like, this advice works on a very specific portion of the population, but it is given in a way that is, like, meant to say, if this advice doesn't work for you, then there's something wrong with you. Oh, and on this jackets page, there's a picture of a like cardigan with horizontal stripes, which just a minute ago I thought it was the vertical stripes that everyone must wear. I guarantee later in the book we're going to go back to those vertical stripes because like fashion rules are subjective, but if you always talk about them like they're hard, fast rules, eventually you're going to like contradict yourself, and they're doing it in their own book. I want to do a little dramatic reading from this section, this subtitle, Arms of an Angel. Nothing packs a punch quite like a pair of bare limbs emerging from an ultra-feminine frock. Let's not forget arms are one of the most potent and easily stimulated erogenous zones. The soft inside of them is particularly sensitive. Ahem. They are at their best perhaps when toned and tanned, so keep a few tricks up your sleeve for enhancing arms even when they're not. If going sleeveless at night or in warmer climes, a deep V or sweetheart neckline that reveals considerable cleavage will inevitably create a happy distraction. Why am I putting myself saying that on the internet? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say from that page, because I think I need to move on for my own sanity. Also, with each section, I'm not going to cover them all, because this is a thick book. There are almost 200 pages to this book. I'm not going to cover every single page, but with each of these major body part sections, they do a little celebrity spotlight. And on the arm section, they did Jennifer Hudson. They spend so much of this page emphasizing how much more stylish she is after her weight loss. Which, if you look back on photos of her before she lost a bunch of weight, she still showed up looking really great on red carpets. Like, she still had these amazing dresses on. But now that she's skinny, those same kinds of styles are that much more fashionable. We see this all the time, where celebrities lose weight and then they're fashionable. And then they get all the credit for having this incredible style. And their before pictures, they still looked good. They still wore cool clothes. They still had good taste in clothing. That doesn't just appear when you lose weight. It's not like a trade-in. When I was thinner, my style was not as good as it is now, because I've had experience and gotten to know myself better, and so I've been able to build my style. My style is always going to improve as time goes on, just like anybody else. My weight is separate from that. Alright, buckle up, kids, because this section is dressing to flatter abs. We all know this is going to be a delightful little section. Okay, I forgot. This section starts off with, quote, "Judging from the flowing column-shaped robes of ancient Greek statues, it's a good bet even goddesses had muffin tops." Before I lose it, I'm going to keep going. "A slender waist like a big bust and hips is a universal sign of feminine beauty, health, and fertility." End quote. No, just no. So first of all, in ancient Greece, a little bit of a stomach was seen as like the height of beauty. Aphrodite had a stomach in those statues because that's what they believed to be the height of beauty. Those sculptors would not have wanted to like face the wrath of Aphrodite by displaying her in anything less than the height of beauty. Like, the Greek gods were vengeful, and I know y'all better be Percy Jackson fans. They're vengeful, they're prideful. So like, the way that they displayed Aphrodite was the height of beauty. The standards of beauty has changed in every society, in every age, and the standard of beauty is not the same across the globe. This like centering American westernized senses of beauty as like the ideal for everyone, because like that's not how it is in a lot of other cultures in a lot of places around the world. So, and lower on the page, they also mentioned the vertical stripes again. So, you know, how many times can we talk about stripes? So much of this section just has bulging or hiding rolls, and like, that's so scary. Oh, your skin moves like skin. And also, again, this only works to a certain size. Some of us have rolls all the time, just existing, doesn't matter. They just kind of exist, like, whatever. Like, this whole book is just move on. It's really not that serious. Yeah, even on the next page, they're talking about high-waisted pants. In high-waisted pants, there's no bulge factor. And again, for some of us, there will always be a bulge factor. There's no flattering away that. Now, how am I only? I'm not even halfway through the book yet. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna go faster. They also talk about swimwear a little bit for the stomach, and like, there's one of them that just has a bird printed on it. If I had a macaw printed on my stomach, I would also be distracted from my stomach. Next section is hips. My hips, in fact, do not lie, and they cannot lie. And pants cannot lie and say that they are smaller. It's also interesting, like, the juxtaposition between trying to play down the hip and thigh, but also still emphasizing the size of the butt. That was especially, like, a little contradictory in, like, the 2010s of, like, oh, your butt is cute, but, like, your hips should be small. How do you have a butt? How do you support it without the thigh? We're not a Build-A-Bear. You can't, that's not... Oh, and then even at this point, we've got both horizontal and vertical stripes in the same dress. And apparently that also will make you look thinner. So, stripes of any kind, I guess, but only certain kinds of stripes in certain instances. Good luck figuring out when or which one. I think this photo of Adele is probably the biggest woman that is shown in this book. And she's pretty average size. Every other photo, and
this is basically a picture book with like
little blurbs for the majority of it, which is how they filled 200 pages. Like, maybe if this is a style book for the average woman, maybe we should include photos of lots of different shapes and sizes of women who would then constitute the average woman potentially. I know I'm getting crazy. They highlight Nicki Minaj in this section, and we're not even gonna touch that. We're not gonna touch it. In the legs section, they say, quote, "Always buy a size up so the pant leg skims rather than squeeze thighs. You can always get the waist taken in," end quote. Your pants should not squeeze you. They're not a Chinese finger trap. So if you're sizing up so that they like fit, then that's the correct size. Since learning how to take in my pants easily, just knowing like the easy and fast like 20-minute alteration to take in pants, my pants fit me so much better. Like it is all around a game changer. So like if you have somebody who tailor or you can find a local tailor, highly recommend. It is honestly worth the money. This is coming from a broke college student, but like finding somebody like me, wink wink, hint hint, Lindenwood students, just like yep, you have my Instagram. Just saying. Celebrities look good in clothes because they get them all tailored. Like that's not something that's ever mentioned in this book, but tailoring is such an important thing. Oh, here's another thing in this book that I actually do agree with. Quote, think of your body as a sculpture with your legs as the base and start dressing from there. End quote. The only reason I agree with this is because that's how I look at building an outfit a lot of the time, is I start with what pants I want to wear. Specifically because we tend to own less bottoms than tops. Bottoms tend to be more expensive. So I often will look at what kind of tops I want to match the bottoms that I own, and also because bottoms tend to be harder for me to fit. So yeah, build from the bottom and then add the other pieces. They do have a workout section, which like, I don't really have a lot to say because I'm not super invested or involved at all in what workout wear trends are going on, because I tend to wear gross gym t-shirts and like yoga pants. And not to be like, I'm not like other girls, I literally just go at 7 in the morning and I don't want to put in any effort. And here's another spot that I noticed in the activewear section where they reinforce again that like you have to be skinny to be fashionable. Quote, A-listers prove that killing it on the red carpet starts with making their body the sexiest outfit of all. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. They also have an accessories section, which I didn't find super interesting. Shoes and bags and like how to use those to make you look different. And like, or not make you look different, make you look smaller, let's be honest. But like, nothing that really stood out or any like good roast points other than what I've already said. Okay, thank goodness, we are at the end of the book. I am at my last shred of sanity. When I was reading last night, I added a little final notes right at the end of the book, and it just says, fashion and flattering clothing is 100% subjective, which is kind of what I've been yelling at the camera the entire time. Reading this book was probably the least productive way I could have spent an hour, but I also really enjoyed being able to tear it apart, because a lot of these same advice and arguments for flattering styles and clothing have not changed. We're on our same book. I'm still tired, and I'm gonna keep wearing the clothes that bring me joy. Whether or not they are flattering to you does not matter to me. This book is gonna go in the deep recesses of my desk, and then when I move out at the end of the semester, I'm probably just gonna throw it away. No, I'll recycle it, because that's better for the environment.
Figured out a good way to use this book in a way that doesn't make me kill off brain cells. I'm pressing flowers with it. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Even if the book is
because nobody else needs to. It was a bad book. And I hope y'all enjoyed me suffering through this book as much as I enjoyed being able to roast it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit post notifications so you get notified every time I post. And I will see y'all next time. Toodles! If you like this video, ooh, I've been filming for a hot second.